22nd of May and it's snowing.
This is really Saskatoon country. Muhammad Ali.
He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw.
For a few years now, we've been coming here every Saturday morning. We make it it's a ritual. Garlic sausage and hot peppers and whatnot. They make it. A little bit of mustard and you're away. Can't ask for a better lunch.
I needed a break from cutting grass this morning, so this seems like a good place.
Is this your breakfast, or do you get up really early?
Oh, I'm up early. This is second breakfast. This is lunch. Bill and I have coffee usually every morning at 6 o'clock or 6:30 down at the bakery, so this is in between.
There'll be a bunch of people coming yet.
Okay.
There's a regular crowd every Saturday morning here.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just started last week too, so.
Oh, and what's your name?
Victor Bellegarde.
Oh, Victor Bellegarde.
Just because I worked at Dairy Queen, so I guess they just started me in.
So I'll have one. 2 buns.
Part of the
I'm not ready yet. I haven't combed my hair yet. Jeez, wait a minute.
It ain't gonna do you any good. Get your sausage and sit down.
You mean I'm the only honest citizen around here?
That's right.
Give her the Charles Atlas look.
Muhammad Ali. Smoky Joe. You guys are calling me names. So
You
what?
come here every Saturday?
Yep.
How come?
How come?
Yeah.
Well, come and have my sausage and a bun for $3. That guy needs our money. Don't tell.
Don't be shy. Admit you're part of the group.
The dirty dozen.
The dirty dozen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here every Saturday too. Gotta keep an eye on these guys.
Oh yeah.
See that they don't eat too much.
Oh yeah.
This is not
What do you like to put on the sausage?
onions and mustard. Good stuff.
Why is it up here and Halls it up there?
Yeah. They are. Well, cool.
Take it easy there, buddy.
Oh, that looks good.
Can I have your autograph?
Okay, can I just ask you stuff?
What?
What do you? I want to know about your philosophy of life.
No way! Eat, drink, and be merry. That's it. How's that? He has no philosophy.
He has no philosophy.
No.
You was here come here to ask me a question like that, and why you ask me without a camera? Then I would have told you.
I'm John,
I'm Dave.
and we're the Hardware Guys.
Are you romantic?
That's a very good question, Donna. Yes, I am. I believe I am.
What makes you a romantic?
I find that if I can look at my wife and still feel the same way I did when I was 23, I still feel that way. I love her to death. I enjoy everything that she does. Well, I mean, we have our disagreements, and we, like any married couple, we have our spats. But she's always been there for me, and I hope I've always been there for her. And she's my sun. She's what I get up for.
How about you, Johnny?
I don't know if I can top Dave's or not. That was pretty impressive, actually. Am I romantic? My girlfriend doesn't seem to think so, but I guess in my own mind I think that I am. Just doing the little things, I guess, the touching or the back massages or the times you spend quietly together, I guess, talking or watching stars. She won't get up and watch the sun with me, but we do look at the stars. So yeah, I guess in a little part, I am. Bye.
Okay, I think these young bluebirds are about a week old, but I can't say exactly. I don't have my notes with me, but they're a long way from fledging anyway. They're getting some feathers, a few feathers and down on them, but they're a long way from adults. This year I had 88 nest boxes up. I'm starting to taper off a little bit in my old age. I had 108 up last year, and I cut back to 88 this year. If you just put up one box, then bluebirds and swallows will tend to fight over it. See, the idea of having two nest boxes is so that one is available to bluebirds and the other one to tree swallows. If you put up two, then they each have their own box and they live happily ever after. I'm an engineer I graduated from the University of Saskatchewan a long time ago, and I spent my working career in Alberta mostly. I worked in Edmonton and Calgary. When I retired, I moved back to my hometown of Abernethy, and within a couple of years of that, I started building bluebird boxes and Started my second career as a bluebirder. For about 10 or 12 years I've been experimenting with different styles of nest box, trying to figure out whether swallows like a different style of box than the bluebirds. So I've ended up with this type of style for swallows and that type of style for bluebirds, and I put one at each site. It works. I get, like, the bluebirds will choose that box about 3 times out of 4 rather than this one, and the swallows will choose this one, I'd say 5 out of 6 times rather than the other one. They like short grass, like grazed pasture is good, and a few trees in the area. In the summertime they eat mostly insects, and they feed the young ones, when the young ones are small, they feed them smaller, soft insects, and then when the young ones get bigger, they feed them rough, big, hard, rough things like grasshoppers. You know, swallows catch all their food on the wing, I think, all their insects, whereas bluebirds find most of their insects on the ground. Bluebirds sit on perches like a fence line or a fence post or a tree, and they watch the ground looking for insects, or they just fly over the ground looking for insects, and if they see something that looks appetizing, they go down and pick it up. Perfect bluebird habitat is considered to be short grass and a clump of trees maybe 100 yards away. And so that the young ones don't have to fly too far when they fledge to get into the trees. One other thing that I'm really interested in is the business of trying to make boxes raccoon-proof, because I had trouble with raccoons in 1989 and 1990. They destroyed about half my nestings. And so since then I've been trying to design boxes that raccoons can't reach into. You see that with these baffles in here and the sloping entrance, a raccoon, it's pretty hard to reach in that far and then reach down to the nest. And so that's one type of raccoon proofing I've used.
Very clever.
And I've had no raccoon troubles since 1990, so it seems like it works. When I'm monitoring, I carry a notebook, and I use a kind of my own special shorthand to keep track of what's going on in each box. And so I only use about maybe 7 pages, 8.5 by 11, to do, say, 180 or 100 nest boxes for the whole season. Going bluebirding is like going to heaven.
Now this piece of glassware is definitely collectible. It's probably vintage.
What's it called?
50s, 60s, and basically anyone that got married at this period of time got something similar to this as a wedding present. So, and in the process, most of them have turned around and sold them at flea markets
Like
since.
You did. And
now they're buying it back at double the price.
Right through this line and saw this kid and went, "Ah!" And he said this kid from Walmart was so scared he let the ball go through. No, he didn't let it go. He threw the ball straight up in the air and ran the other way. You can have it. I threw it. So I guess House picked it up and ran and scored a touchdown. But Bill said he didn't really know what happened because he was laying on the floor on the ground laughing so hard that everybody in the place was just howling. Oh boy. And once I was refereeing a game here against Balcarres, I think. And I just totally blew the call. It was a bad call. And I hadn't learned, which was fairly early on, I hadn't learned that the worst thing you'd ever do was
Change your mind.
talk. No, I didn't change my mind. Okay, so the worst thing is to change your mind. The second worst thing is to discuss it with the fans.
Oh God, no, you don't.
That was a major mistake, and I knew I'd blown it too. And it was something about it. I think the kicker missed the ball, and the ball hit the ground, and then he kicked it again just off the ground, and it rolled down the field. And there's some sort of obscure rule about dribbling the ball.
Dribbling.
There used to be. It used to be in the rule book. I don't think it's there anymore. And so I awarded. I gave the ball to the other guys. And Balcarres should have got the ball in good field position, and I think I gave the ball to the fort. So rightfully so. If I'd have been a fan, I'd have been yapping too. And
in that game of curling, the rule still is there today. That should a rock shatter, the largest particle closest to the center, to the circle, is the counter. That's down in Scottish rules.
Have you ever seen a rock shatter?
Oh yes.
Where?
Oh yeah. Once in the cinema at one time. We were down there. Because they had different sized rocks that weren't matched.
Oh yeah.
And a big rock would hit a little one and I only saw it happen once. But they get a certain age and they bring it, and then they just piff. And the largest particle closest to the center is the kunta. I think is what they claim.
It's not bad. So the Earth is spinning on its axis, like there. We're going like this, right? Going that way. It's wobbling as well on the axis a little bit. It's moving around, orbiting around the sun. Takes a year to go around the sun. And then the sun is part of this whole big mass of stars, the Milky Way galaxy, 150 billion roughly. We can't see most of them because there's big clouds of gas in the way. And that whole thing is a pinwheel that turns around, takes about 200 million years to make one trip around this great big, to spin around in this big pinwheel. And the whole galaxy is moving through space, this pinwheel. All of the galaxies are moving all apart from each other in space at really high speeds as well. So, in fact, in time, like if we had a time machine and we could go back to 20 minutes ago when we started this conversation, we would also have to go back in space because we've moved a long way through space as well, which one thing that's going to make time travel fairly tricky, I think, if we ever figure it out, is because we're a totally different place than we were. So if we sent us back 20 minutes in time, we wouldn't last long because we'd be in the middle of space. Unless we sent the house along, but even this veranda's probably not that airtight, so we'd be in trouble. So that's pretty neat, the movie. So if you think about it, there's a whole trail of us. You know how sometimes in movies where they do that stop action and you can kind of see a trail of images of the people back through time. I think it's kind of neat to think of us as there being a trail of images of us
back through time, just the same way that say an old-fashioned film used to have trails of images and so on behind too. It just